Live from Port Harcourt to Bonny.
From Port Harcourt to Bonny.
The first squad.
The first squad, we come
Bonny through road.
Yeah.
From Port Harcourt to Bonny.
May they not deny you. Confirm.
The decades-long wait is over as the Bonny Island has finally been connected to the mainland in Rivers State by road. And this is seen as the first persons to move from the mainland in Port Harcourt to the island on Bonny Island, have surfaced online, parading themselves as the first ever persons to move from the mainland to the island by road. Now, in the next videos you're about to see right now, we are going to take you back memory lane and take you on a journey of how this road, started, was being conceived, the implementation processes, and even up to the completion stage. Now, I'd like you to enjoy the video and I'll wait some commentary at the very end.
The instructive thing about Bonny Bridge is that perhaps people don't know. Bonny Island is where Nigeria's gas is produced from, a major revenue earner and a major employment source. Before this road is finished, the only way to get there is by water. And this means that everything that is necessary to sustain life, from bottled water to toilet roll to anything you can think of on the Bonny Island, has to go through that water every day at a premium. So what this will do immediately is to take off that cost.
The project involves basically the construction of a 50-kilometer road with 14 bridges. We have what we call the mini bridges, 10 of them, and the other 3 major bridges. Of course, you can see by yourself that one is already done. We have completed one, so by the time we do our earthworks towards Bonny, then we'll have better access to construct the other remaining 2 major bridges. Foundation works and all of that are going on many of the mini bridges. The major bridges are the ones that are up to 500 meters or more. We have about 3 of them. Then the other ones about 200 and something meters, the mini bridges.
I remember when the vice president came to flag off the road in Bonny about 2 years ago. I just still imagine the amount of energy and excitement in the community. And people even ask us, "Are you sure? So I can drive my car to Port Harcourt and come back?" And we say, that is part of our vision. Just on the back of this project alone, I see employment. Even in this COVID time, the project is back on site. We have about 600, 500 people on site. But yes, it is true, when completed, potential for a game changer. But the bigger benefit is for Bonny people, is for Bodo people, is for Rivers people, is for Nigerians, is for Niger Deltans. Lots of value for all.
So let us first locate where we are. We are in Bodo area of Rivers State. We are in Rivers State. We are trying to connect 2 communities of rivers. Bodo on the mainland and Bonny on the island. And it's instructive to point out because I hear some comments that the federal government is not doing anything in rivers. Bodo and Bonny are parts of rivers. This is an investment of 200 billion naira in one state. But the money is not as important as its long-term significance. So when you talk about poverty and you see reports about 133 million people in poverty, yes, those are the problems. But what are the solutions? This is one of the solutions. Conceived a few years ago and being implemented. So this is my 4th trip to this place. The first was to come and understand the problem. And when I came here, there was clarity. 3 previous administrations had tried to build this bridge and it failed. But what was the problem? People within one state could not connect each other except by ferry. So it used to take hours, it used to cost a lot more, And it just was an inhibitor of productivity. It's my 4th trip to come and observe how much progress the solution is making until we finish it. In a nutshell, therefore, whilst people are talking about the problems, this government is administering the solution. And as we finish here, we will go to another place where we are providing solutions. So when you talk about poverty, for example, infrastructure is what addresses the monetary and the multidimensional poverty. You can see all of the people here in their hard hats. There was no job here before this bridge came, but this is where they earn a living today. If you do an area survey, you will see men, machine and equipment worth billions being put to use. The economy is working. You will see dredging. Who are the dredgers? Mostly the local people. But that's the short-term monetary aspect of the poverty solution that is being implemented here. The long term is that all of them, some of them are already telling me, oh, when are you going to extend this road to my community? This place is going to open up in a way that will simply be breathtaking. But by the time the economic rewards are coming, Buhari and I would have been long gone. But the seeds of ending poverty in this place were sown by the Buhari administration.
Live from Port Harcourt to Bonny.
From Port Harcourt to Bonny.
The first squad.
The first squad, welcome.
Bonny through road.
Yeah. From Port Harcourt to Bonny.
May they not deny you. Confirm. Toba is here.
Yeah.
John is the one is here. Now Ezekiel is here. We made it, you know. Hooray! No worry, may they not best.
This is truly breathtaking and truly remarkable. Like watching this video, before, shooting this, there was this sense of revival and hope, that just, surged inside me. And, as I've often commented on this channel, we are actually making giant steps in the right direction. So the guys you just saw right now, at the latter part of the video, are parading themselves as the first ever people or persons to actually move from the mainland, in River State, that is mainland, all the way from Port Harcourt down to Bonny Island by road. They are saying that they are the first to achieve this feat, and that if anybody thinks that he or she has done that, they should come out and provide their evidence. But this week, the videos began to circulate online of these guys who actually took a road trip from the mainland down to the island. The Bonny Island was one of the first places in Nigeria where oil was being drilled. In fact, some reports say it's the first place. While some attribute that feat to a town in Bayelsa State has been the first place oil was being drilled. But be that as it may, it is actually one of the first places oil was being drilled in Nigeria. We are talking of eras before independence, and oil was being drilled in the country even before the oil boom in 1970s. So we began to see some explorations going on in Nigeria in the 50s, and oil began to be drilled in the 60s, and then there was the boom in the 70s where there was a lot of exploration throughout the Niger Delta region, and consequently we had drilling of more oil, and then more proceeds came into the country from oil sales. Now the Bonny Island for hundreds of years have been accessing the mainland via ferry, via boats, via canoes, or speed boats, just ferry. That's how they've been accessing the mainland. But for the first time in human history, for the first time in human civilization, we are seeing the people of Bonny Island have access to the mainland by road. This project has been on the drawing board for decades, for over 4 decades. Since you may call it the second, but more specifically, since the Third Republic, they have been pushing to get a road from Bonny Island to the mainland. Since Obasanjo came into office, he campaigned on this road. Yar'Adua also made some campaigns on this road. Goodluck Jonathan made some campaigns on this road, and even this current president had actually promised the people of River State that he would deliver on this road before he leaves office. Now he has gone ahead to actually actualize and deliver this project for the people of Rivers State, for the people of Bonny Island. Now this project is actually worth over 200 billion naira. This is actually what you may call a federal allocation to some states for like 6 months. What some states get in 6 months is the amount of money that have been poured into making roads in this island. As you've seen from the video, we have over 14 bridges that make up this road. We have about 10 mini bridges and 3 major bridges and about 1 approach bridge. There's a lot of infrastructure. Now this road is probably the most expensive road we have built in Nigeria, considering the kilometer. So it's about a 50-kilometer road, and a 50-kilometer road should not go up 200 billion naira. But considering the terrain, the amount of bridges that had to be built, the amount of recovery of land that had to be done, they were dredging, there were land recovery, they had to clear bushes. It was a really tedious, in fact, it's supposed to be the most difficult road that has ever been built in Nigeria since our history. No road has been built that has been more difficult than this. A painstaking project that only Julius Berger could be, contracted to carry out such a massive infrastructural project. Now, the benefit of this road alone in this place is enormous. To think that everything on the island that is not being produced on the island comes into the island by boat is so unthinkable. Like the commissioner for works mentioned, how can toilet paper, how can bottled water come into an island by road? So come into an island by ferry. Think of the multiple investment opportunities that exist on the island. Most of those things, came in by ferry, by water. This is so unthinkable. So now that we have roads linking, both the island and the mainland, the opportunities are enormous and it's so unthinkable. We would see the whole place open up. We see investments pouring. We'd even see the oil sector in the island even become more and more attractive as more players can come into the to Bonny Island and explore and develop, seeing that they now have a direct access to the island by road. So this is a huge testament by this administration that it is really bent on actually solving critical infrastructural problems that have plagued us as a nation. So kudos to the president and kudos to the vice president, kudos to the minister of works in the person of His Excellency Babatunde Fashola. Kudos to the Rivers people, kudos to Julius Berger for undertaking such difficult tasks, and all the people who were working to achieve this mighty feat. And this is a PPP engagement, which is a public-private partnership engagement, meaning that this is funded by the tax credit scheme. So people like Dangote, the NNPC, MTN, Airtel, Glo, and some other big multinational industries in Nigeria are actually the ones funding this project through the tax credit scheme that was initiated by President Muhammadu Buhari. So a lot is going on, and we are just trying to highlight the few things that can be highlighted via video. So please, if you're in these places, take a trip, take a tour, make videos, make comments, upload pictures, just get a feel of what is going on around you, and do well to appreciate those who have actually pushed to ensure that these dreams have become a reality. Now, in wrapping it up for this video, thank you for sticking with us thus far. Please do well to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram, on Idikanobu, which is my handles on these other social media platforms. And till we see again, Godspeed.